The workshop smelled of burning wires and chemicals. A glass bulb sat shattered on the floor, smoke still curling from its filament. Thomas Edison wiped the sweat from his forehead. His hands were blistered, his clothes stained with oil and ash. His assistant stared in silence, waiting for him to explode in anger. Instead, Edison smiled. "Well," he said, "we found another way that doesn't work." It was his 1,000th failure. But to Edison, it wasn't failure at all. It was progress. How many times would you be willing to fail before giving up? 10? 50? Maybe 100? Now imagine failing not once, not twice, but over 1,000 times. Would you keep going? Thomas Edison did. And because he refused to stop, the world gained one of the most important inventions in history, the electric light bulb. Thomas Edison wasn't born a genius. In fact, as a boy in Ohio, he was considered a poor student. Teachers thought he was difficult and slow because he asked too many questions. By the age of 12, Edison had left school altogether. But his mother, a strong and encouraging woman, taught him at home. She fed his curiosity with books and experiments, turning his restlessness into creativity. Edison also worked on trains to support his family. He sold candy and newspapers, but what fascinated him most was tinkering with telegraph machines and chemical experiments in the baggage car. He wasn't just earning money. He was learning about electricity, about machinery, about persistence. By his 20s, Edison had become an inventor. He created improvements for the telegraph, the phonograph, and numerous other devices. But there was one challenge that obsessed him more than anything else: light. At the time, people relied on candles, kerosene lamps, or gaslight. These were dangerous, dim, and expensive. Edison believed he could invent a safer, cheaper, and longer-lasting source of light for every home. But no one believed it could be done. Many scientists had tried and failed. Still, Edison declared, "I will make electricity so cheap that only the rich will burn candles." In 1878, Edison founded the Edison Electric Light Company. With funding from investors like J.P. Morgan, he set up his famous Menlo Park Laboratory in New Jersey. This was not just a workshop. It was the world's first true invention factory, where a team of skilled workers and assistants collaborated with Edison. The mission was clear: invent a practical electric light bulb. The problem? No one had figured out how to create a filament, a thin thread inside the bulb that would glow brightly without burning out quickly. Edison rolled up his sleeves. The race had begun. Edison and his team tested thousands of materials. They tried metal wires, but they melted too fast. They tried platinum, but it was too expensive. They tried even stranger materials like carbonized paper, bamboo, and even beard hair. Each test ended in disappointment. Bulbs shattered, filaments burned out in seconds. Sometimes the experiments caught fire. His assistants groaned in frustration. Investors grew restless. Newspapers mocked him. But Edison refused to give in. "I have not failed," he said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's journey was not just about the bulb. It was about survival. He worked 20-hour days, barely sleeping. His health declined. His finances stretched thin. Competitors like Joseph Swan in England were also racing to invent the light bulb, and Edison felt the pressure of time. Meanwhile, his family rarely saw him. His children missed their father. His wife worried about his exhaustion. But Edison kept going, driven by a vision greater than himself, a world illuminated by electric light. Some of his own workers began to doubt him. "Maybe it can't be done," they whispered. Edison's investors asked if he should quit, but Edison, instead of backing down, doubled his efforts. He inspired his team with his relentless energy. "We are on the verge of something great," he told them. "Each failure brings us closer." It was not genius alone that kept the project alive. It was grit, determination, and the refusal to quit. One night, after countless trials, Edison and his team tried carbonized bamboo as a filament. The bulb flickered, then glowed. 1 minute passed, then 5, then 10. The room held its breath. The bulb continued to glow for 13 hours before finally burning out. For the first time, Edison had proof. A practical electric light bulb was possible. With bamboo refined into filaments, Edison's bulbs lasted longer, eventually up to 1,200 hours. He had done it, but Edison knew invention alone wasn't enough. To truly change the world, he needed a system to bring electricity into homes, streets, and cities. So he built the first electrical power station in New York City in 1882, lighting up an entire district. The world would never be the same. Edison's inventions spread across the globe, from homes to factories, from streets to schools. Electric light transformed society. People could work longer hours, read at night, and live more safely. Edison became one of the most famous inventors in history. Not because he succeeded once, but because he was willing to fail thousands of times. But Edison's story wasn't perfect. He faced criticism, lawsuits, and competition. Some of his later business practices sparked controversy. Still, at the core, his relentless drive to act despite obstacles was undeniable. He showed that success is not reserved for geniuses, but for those who keep moving forward. Edison's journey teaches us that failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. Persistence beats talent when talent gives up. Action is the bridge between ideas and reality. When asked about his repeated failures, Edison replied, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up." What dream are you chasing? Have you given up after a few setbacks? Remember, Edison, Remember the light bulb that came after 1,000 failures. Take one more shot. Try one more time. Because the world doesn't reward those who stop, it rewards those who keep going. Years after his invention lit the world, Edison looked back on his journey. He didn't count his failures with bitterness. He counted them with pride, because each failure was simply another step toward the light. And thanks to that light, the darkness of the world was never the same again.